All right, let's go ahead and organize our scene. Now we want our high poly controller to have the same naming convention as our low poly controller, and I want to focus on what I want to bake down onto the low poly. And I know that I want the front plate, the D-pad frame, the B frame, and the A frame to all be one piece for the high poly. So I'll select all of those, then I'll go to Mesh and Combine, and then I'll delete my history. Then I'll middle mouse click and drag it back up into the high poly group, and I'll delete these old nodes. So I'm going to rename this front plate underscore high. Every piece in the high poly needs to have that suffix underscore high for a baking technique called bake by name. And we'll talk more about that later. So I named, the front shell underscore high, back shell underscore high, D-pad underscore high, so on and so forth. And once I'm done naming all of these, I'm going to select the corresponding pieces in the low poly, and I'm going to name them the exact same thing except for the suffix. So instead of underscore high for the low poly, it will be underscore low. I'm actually going to combine these screws and the back shell, so I'll select both of those, go to Mesh and Combine, because I'm just going to plan on, for now, baking those screws into low poly. So I'll delete the old nodes. And if it turns green like that, it just needs, I'm going to undo, and then I'll go to Edit, Delete All by Type History, and that should get rid of the nodes. So now I'll rename this back shell to back shell underscore high. I was just checking the namespace editor to make sure I wasn't going to have a problem with that, but I shouldn't. So get rid of that 1 at the end of high. And this will be chord underscore high and plug underscore high. And I'm counting how many pieces I have here, and I should have the same number of pieces in the low poly for the bake by name technique that we are going to use. Now I'm going to speed this next part up because it's doing something very similar. Basically, I'm going to select the high poly controller, move it to the side, and I want to take the corresponding pieces, and again, as I said before, all I'm doing here is just renaming these pieces the same as the high poly, except I'm putting underscore low instead. I need to make sure the punctuation is the same as well. And I like to move this to the side just to get a visual and make sure I have the same number of pieces. I'm going to delete these extra sets at the bottom. And then I'm going to hold the middle mouse button and drag on these pieces to just line them up in the same order that the high poly order is. And that way I can easily reference back and forth between the two. So I'm just counting again, making sure we have all the same pieces. And I can delete the history again. Then I will save the project. And in the next video, we'll begin UV unwrapping this.